Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of RPG Squad Earthdawn. I am joined again by Krendar, Chris, and Dakota here below. And when we last left off, our heroes had just finished helping a town defeat something that was way above their station, as I learned looking at the actual character stuff later on. Whoops. And now...
Growing pains.
They had gone through celebrating, a bonfire, kind of, final rites for people's skulls they had found, and the next day has dawned. So, what do you guys do when you wake up?
I'm going to find, as soon as I get up, and we spent this in the inn in the town, correct?
Yes, for free.
Excellent. Wyland will go about and find some villagers and the very first part of his day performing a karma ritual. His karma ritual in front of a few unsuspecting and hopefully entertained villagers. And he will go through the entire half-hour procedure, telling the story and the tale that he must tell, being very sincere and serious about these things, and making sure that they are engrossed. And then, as befits the ritual, he will end it by saying, "And that is the way of such things." And then hopefully get back a point of karma that I spent from last session.
All right. If you want to, you can roll your skill for, I guess, music?
I think that...
I know, I just want to see how entranced they'll be.
But I'm not sure if you make an actual test with that.
No, it should just be back.
I would say just a charisma roll if you wanted to make a roll at all.
Yeah.
I can certainly
unless
do
you
that.
have some sort of performance skill or the emotion song talent or something.
Well, I do actually. I can use my entertainer skill if you'd like me to use it.
Yeah, there you go.
I can do that. All right, let's see what we
So
get.
we know how well it went, yeah.
Yes.
A 7.
All right. It's still a bit early for most of them, but they are still very engrossed. It's been a while since somebody came in and told the stories, and the stories of your town have not actually permeated the world yet. So you have a couple of small children and some adults on their way to and from their jobs actually listening and enjoying.
Excellent.
Yep. Next, who wants to go?
Well, I think Grigori would have been spending the night actually meditating rather than sleeping, and ruminating on the nature of spirits and karma. So basically, as my rest for the night, I am meditating to gain rank 1 of karma ritual, which I'd previously lacked entirely. So I don't know. Technically, you don't actually perform the karma ritual while you're buying the rank, but we can throw in a little bit of the flavoring of it, and maybe while I'm meditating on the nature of it, 1 or 2 local spirits are communing with me, and I'm having a chat with them, perhaps.
I actually read up on y'all's karma ritual, so I know what you need to do.
Yeah.
Nice.
So yes, one comes in and just it's an older person, just spirit wandering around, and starts sitting down next to you, chats with you, converses during the night.
Yeah, there you go. Like just a little small talk or whatever. Like, I'm sure the spirits tend to be lonely, as most people aren't able to detect them. So
Yeah,
I'm sure most of them like having somebody to talk to.
Yeah, you learn a little history of the town. Nothing major, nothing useful. Just in general, like what used to be there, what shouldn't be there anymore, how these darn kids are, doing all these things, etc., etc.
And why won't they get off my lawn? Yeah.
No, that's the guy, farmer, like 3 villages down. All right. So Dakota, do you know what your character's karma ritual is supposed to be?
I believe it's supposed to be him basically practicing or something.
Yes, he starts.
Yeah,
it's supposed to be about
like
30
shadow
minutes
sparring or something. Yeah.
At first,
But-
quietly shadow sparring, and then eventually aggressively. But I don't think you used your karma last time.
No, and it's at rank 2, so I don't really need to worry about that. So
No. So you can just wake
Well, if
up
you're-
and go drink.
Yeah. If you're at full karma, there's literally no reason to perform the ritual.
Exactly.
yeah, I think it's time to go get some food in me before I head out before everybody heads out.
All right.
Yeah. Let's get a good feast going. Grigori is feeling a lot less suspicious about this town now.
All right.
Now that we know why they were acting so weird.
Well, Dakota, as your character wakes up from a restful but still kind of annoying night hearing Grigori just talking to thin air, according to you. You go down and you hear outside the troubadour, singing away, talking about various things of town that you're like, not a history class again. And the dwarf is sitting there just staring at the bar, looking at you. And he just kind of makes a noise like, you want something?
Get just food. I don't care what it is. No alcohol. By God, no alcohol.
So you want off the menu. You see him wander away. He comes back with some like cabbage, a little bit of bacon, and stuff like that. So just a small meal right there in front of you.
I'm happy enough with that. I'll just start eating.
All right. As you're eating away, you hear the troubadour finish. Pretty sure Grigori by this time comes down.
Yeah, and I'll think I'll see the impressive meal that Wyland ends up ordering eventually. I'll be like, I have what he's having.
Being Kazia?
Yeah,
No, I think didn't Chris say earlier he was going to have a pretty good meal before leaving?
Right. Sorry.
No, that was Kaja. I will.
Okay.
I'll eat after I perform.
Yeah, he's outside performing and just finishing.
That's why I said eventually. But anyways, I'll. Let's say I come down at the same time that he comes in from finishing his performance.
Okay.
So Kazia's probably already partway through the meal.
Yes. The dwarf sits there, and you told him the last day about you're heading to Haven. He tells you need to head west out of town. You'll be there in about half a day if you're slow. Should be a lot clearer travels. There are a few little things to look out for, but not much.
Anything you say a little bit. Can you give us an example, perhaps, of what we might be seeing along the way?
A bear.
I'm sorry, a bear?
Yeah, there's a bear that's been wandering around the parts. He kind of disappeared when that giant monster was around.
Perhaps maybe we can get a few pieces of jerky or salted pork to take with us?
For about 2 silver pieces, you'll get enough to last one of you a day. So,
well, 2 silver pieces is more than enough to spare my life from being attacked by a bear. So, I shall expend that money.
Okay.
Yes, this sounds fair. I don't know why he's worried though. Bear's cuddly.
Well, you can let them cuddle you. I prefer to keep them at a good distance.
Question: does Kazia still have the leg strewn over his shoulder?
Yes.
Okay.
I have taken a small bit of whatever I can find and just wrapped it around my neck to hold it.
You may want to consider cauterizing the tip so it's not dripping as we walk.
Nah.
At least wrap cloth around, yes?
Yes.
If bear around, you do not want to be covered in goo.
Very true.
The dwarf sits there. Actually, with that, it may help keep it away.
Another good reason to have the thing.
Still just imagine you learning how to slap things from like 2 feet away.
Just turn into a spear.
All right, kid, and I can slap him from a good 10 yards away. You need to put more practice.
Okay. So, you finish up your meal, and I'm guessing you guys head out of town towards the town of Haven, yes?
Yes. Sounds good.
All right. I think this song is...
If we have enough time before we depart, depending upon what time, I would like to spend my hour today on the item, the amulet. I need to spend an hour a day on that lovely thing so I can learn its history.
It, yeah.
Okay.
Yes. So if we have the time in the morning before we take off, I will most certainly do that.
All right. Yeah, you got plenty of time. The time is yours. You're
All
not
right,
on any
cool.
official mission. You're just heading to Haven. Or because someone told you there's stuff there.
Excellent. Well, good.
Right? So you spend your hour. You still look at it and basically go, this is a magical thing.
How many hours total did you need on that again?
I need a week's worth.
Yeah. So you start heading out, and perception check says about like halfway through the day.
I can do this.
6.
10.
Sorry, I lost my step there for a second.
So
I'm sure it's
Really, I'm
something
still-
entirely non-threatening with such soothing music happening right now.
You actually do spot the bear, but it is not paying any attention to you. It's just over there, kind of staring off, re-wandering. From what you can tell, actually, it is pleased that the thing is gone, and it is actually trying to reclaim some of its territory just by randomly pissing on things to mark things.
Clawing tree bark, that sort of thing.
Exactly.
I guess. Whatever bears do.
But this is, again, something new to all three of you.
The study of living things is not so much Grigori's niche.
If there's a safe point nearby, Wyland's going to attempt to he's just going to attempt to climb to wherever vantage point he can and maybe try and watch it for about a good 15 minutes just to kind of, being the artist that he is, he wants to kind of get a rhythm and a feel for how this bear behaves.
All right. What you
Should
saw,
bring up a little harness so you can do a painting while you're up there.
well, from what you rolled, you see a few sturdy branches, but it's up to your two companions if they want to stop and wait.
Yeah, that's fine. I will watch bear.
Nausea?
I'll watch the thing. It's
Okay.
big, it's tough looking, it's reclaiming its land. I'm cool with that.
You can relate to this on a spiritual level, huh?
Yes.
Okay, so quick climb check. Thing of 5. If someone wants to help you, it can reduce that.
I believe that
We're
defaults
helping
to
him-
dexterity.
Oh, helping him to climb? Yeah, sure.
Like giving him a boost up.
Yeah.
Well,
Why not?
before you can even get there to help him, he's already shimmied up the tree.
He's elf, as expected.
I could
Yeah.
see things much better up here. It's amazing.
You actually
You
see
should
it
see
one.
what he's.
Yeah, go ahead. Actually, describe.
Look at it looks like he's found a small patch of berries. Well, that's interesting. Maybe if once he moves on, we might want to go check those out. Those could be tasty. They may not have been. I mean, we had berries in our care, but those might be of a different variety.
What? You're too far up. I cannot hear you.
I don't yell. You're gonna bring attention to him, and that's kind of the whole point. We don't want him to see us.
What?
Oh, well, you definitely don't want to see what he's doing now. Ugh. I wonder if that sticks to his fur. I can't quite tell.
All right. After about 15 to 20 minutes of this, the bear wanders off further into the woods. You can hear it rustling, but you can tell it's moving away.
Can can I go up and find some of those berries?
Sure.
I'll pick a few, maybe, a couple of handfuls, stick them in the pouch. I won't taste one yet, because I've heard terrible stories about bad berries.
And you're still reeling from a few days ago.
Yeah, and I'm still not fully cleaned out from my escapades coming out of the care and eating. So but I'll take some with me, and I might be able to see if I can find out what they are in Haven.
Yep.
They smell good though.
Wait to taste them until we're near an apothecary.
Indeed, my friend. Indeed.
All right.
Is good for bear, is good for elf, yes?
Well, we'll find out. I don't want to test that theory right now. Otherwise, I may be communing with you like your troll friend does.
Hope not, but maybe elf grows some fur and some claws.
Yes, perhaps. I could use a little bit more hair in my chest. That's what my father always used to say to me.
You have a weird elf father then.
Strange saying for elf.
Well,
Yes.
well, I don't really want to get into this now at this point, but he had his own issues, and I think that he felt inadequate in certain ways, and I think he tried to project that onto me. And there's many a story I could probably tell for you about this, but I'm not going to do this now. I would need a couch to sit down on if I was to relay these types of stories.
Is this where we secretly find out that Wyland's mother was actually an orc?
Sort of wonderful thing in books called Therapist.
Dad felt a little bit inadequate because his wife had a hairier chest than he did.
Yeah, I'm orc from the neck down. Yeah.
Oh God. Okay. So the rest of the thing is just kind of you guys going ooh and ah at the little bit of wonders that was not anywhere in your care, and just basically nature in general. As you get close to the town, you start hearing it, bustle of people, just a lot more lively than you expected. And
Is it big?
it's a decent-sized town. It's about twice the size of where you come from. So
Look at the way, gentlemen. Look at the way the air seems to ripple off of the buildings in the distance. It's fascinating. Fascinating. The place. Ooh, I can even kind of smell it from here.
yeah, you just
I
hear.
can smell. Gregori's just making sniffing motions at the air, and then glancing over at Dakota and his gooey spider leg thing. Not to me, my friend.
I'm gonna go find someone to turn this into something useful.
Well, as you get closer, you see people moving around. It's just bustling. To you, this is an insane amount of activity because you've never seen people actively going about doing stuff this much. You hear the tinging of just armors. You hear the shouting, people yelling, "Apples for sale! 5 gold for the bag of apples!"
So, sorry, I don't mean to be picky, but I do have to interject slightly. Gold is not actually used commonly in
Silver.
in
5
Versailles.
silver for a bag of apples, then. Fine. I'm sorry. I'm used to D&D, okay?
I know. But just as part of the setting and feel,
That explains why
gold
everything's freaking silver here. Okay.
gold coins are not minted anymore, but some pre-scored gold coins still exist in the world.
Okay, so 5 silver.
Those are considered collector's items.
You hear people yelling that and just going off.
Kaja, look at that man over there. Look at that man over there. Yes, that's an orc. Look at him over there. Look what he's doing. How he dances around. He moves like you do when you wield your blade. I wonder if he's a sword master like you. Interesting.
Actually, you
Might
watch him
be.
for a bit longer, and you see him pull out a second sword and start tossing it in the air and juggling them.
Oh, now he's showing off.
Well, perhaps he's more like me. Wyland is going to have a very difficult time sticking with the group. I imagine it being a lot of like me stopping as they're kind of going forward, and they kind of have to grab me like a 6-year-old in the mall, And you
Perhaps
kind of,
we
like,
can
hold
find
them
pet store and buy elf leash.
Now that you
This
say
is,
that, every so often you're going to have to make a will roll of trying to beat a 5 to hopefully, pay attention to the fact your group has moved forward.
Yeah, absolutely. Wyland is an elven sponge at this moment, and he's like soaking all things. One thing, actually, I would like to try and do, if I could.
Yes.
I want to, and let me see how long I have to do this for. I think it's only a minute. Hold on, let me get to the page here. I have it very quickly here.
Oh, I think I know what you're doing.
Yes. I want to. I know I'm going to hear languages that I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I want
It's
to
gonna
go.
Antonio Banderas this thing.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm going to go and attempt to use my speak language talent. Whether I'm actively participating in the conversation with this or just standing nearby listening to them, I want to try and learn whatever language I might see.
Okay. What languages do you know right now?
Just Elven and Dwarven.
Okay. You actually see the large orc man sitting there yelling at somebody. I'm guessing you go towards him since he's now intrigued you a little bit.
Yes, absolutely. I want to see what he's yelling at.
And he's yelling an orc to a small dwarven boy there who's just tossing him blades.
Oh, this is the juggler guy.
Yes.
Excellent. Yeah, I'm going to sit and watch his form and listen to what he's saying to try and learn his language.
Okay. So I believe does that need a roll, or do you just sit there and?
It does need a roll. A target number. It's on page 80 in the rule book if you care to follow along. But a target number is a 6, and this is and I will roll my speak language talent step,
Okay.
which in this case is a step. Oops. Let's get back on the proper tab.
Yeah.
Oh, I would say that's probably pretty good.
Yeah. Jesus.
Oh my god. That
You-
might even cut down the time required.
You start picking up words like crazy because they're just shouting things constantly back and forth. And in fact, the orc is shouting to the dwarven boy in orcish. The dwarf is shouting back in dwarven, so you're kind of picking up like, wait, what? This? Okay, fine, this. So
Nice.
you're slowly picking it up. Now, while he's doing that, what are Grigori and Kazia doing?
Um, I'll go with him and watch. I mean, Grigori is not a troubadour, but he's just have a curiosity about the world. So while he's not just don't have quite the level of elven childlike wonder, he still likes to see new things and whatnot.
Okay.
So he'll check it out as well.
Cool.
He'll stick with him. We're not in any huge hurry for anything anyway, so why not?
And
Why not?
What is Kazia doing?
Kaja needs to go find the closest blacksmith or someone that can fiddle with this thing, because people are probably looking at him weird carrying around a giant spider's leg.
It's time
Like
to invent
it's
the
the
world's first
club.
spider flail.
Actually,
So I'm
do a quick perception check. Two reasons for this. So, all right. So you hear the clinking of the armor or the blacksmith, so you know where it's going. But you actually notice that no one, like from passing, is actually glaring at you for carrying this thing. There's some people avoiding you because of the dripping. And you're surprised this thing is still dripping after over a freaking day of it just being lobbed off. But it feels like this may not be the weirdest thing traipsed through the street before.
perhaps, but I want to get the hard work done before the fun happens.
Yeah. Well, as you get
Fair
to
enough. Pragmatic.
yeah, as you get to the blacksmith, you see several different ones there. You see a human, a bit of an elf, and then you look at the back and you see one of your people. Name of the race I forgot.
Well,
So-
let's see.
Scrang.
Scrang. There we go. Thank you, Krender. So you see a Scrang, and you can go talk to whichever one you want to.
I'll go talk to my own kind.
Okay.
I feel like that's a good
You see
good
him
idea.
back there just kind of working on something that you're able to deduce. Actually looks like it goes on your tail.
Ooh.
Just like a basic random item. So do you say anything or do you wait for him to notice you?
I'll say something,
All right.
buddy.
Ah, what the hell?
I've got this. I'm not
How's
gonna get
that?
into where I'm not gonna get into where I got this, but I need this turned into something useful before it covers me in weird crap.
He kind of picks it up and just click. Well, we can work many things with this. I do kind of want to know if you lobbed this off. Actually, I don't care. I don't care. So what
Answer's yes.
were you thinking?
Well, you're making something there that I like the look of. Anything you can do with this to make it like that?
So, from the looks of it, it's not like overly spiky, but it is kind of bumped. So he offers you two different things. Making a bit of armor, like a piecemeal armor that would go on top of your current set, so bump up your physical armor a little bit. Or potentially making it so your tail could do a bit of a bludgeoning attack with it.
Spike that tail up a little, eh?
Yep.
After the trouble we were in, the tail sounds good.
Just keep in mind that attacks with the tail are unarmed combat, not melee weapons, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
So it's a different roll.
Oh yeah.
it would just bump up your damage a little bit.
I'll go with the armor then.
The armor? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, he sits there.
Survival's good.
He sits there and waves to the human who comes over, and they start just discussing like ways to do it. They have you stand there and just kind of take bits of the little chitlin off it and place it on you. So you're a little covered in goop now. And they're sitting there, and after they kind of piecemeal ideas together, like, yeah, this could work. You'd still be flexible. It'd give you a little bit. I mean, it'd be about 2 pounds heavier than you expect, but it would work. Take us about 2 days to get this on there properly. A day if you want it done crappily, and we don't do crappily.
2 days sounds fine.
All right. Since you provided us with the material, we don't have to send somebody. 50 silver.
Deal.
All right. Well, they have you take off your armor, which hopefully you're wearing clothes underneath.
Of course.
And they basically give you a little ticket saying, yes, come back. Come back in 2 days, it'll be ready.
All right. I'm out of here then. I go back to find these two numbskulls then.
All right.
Oh,
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I was just gonna say a quick note about what Chris was doing with the languages, though.
Yeah.
He was using the speak languages talent, which means he now knows the entire Orcish language fluently.
Oh,
Actually, if I can spout lore for just a few seconds,
go ahead.
this is a great example for our viewers at home of the differences between skills and talents. Whereas this is, you can learn a language through mundane study and practice, but what he's doing with the talent is fueling it with magic. So that's why I made an Antonio Banderas joke from the 13th Warrior. It's like that, but even faster than what he did. So instead of, like, we all know how long it takes to learn to speak a language fluently in the real world.
Way too long.
Right? So that's what learning it with the speak language skill is like.
All right.
With the speak language talent, he just has to listen to them for a few minutes, make his roll successfully. He's fluent. Whole language. Bam.
Okay.
Jeez.
Yeah, so that one, within like a minute or so, you were able to understand everything being said between them two. At which point, he was trying to, toss out the... are there greatswords in this?
There's just two-handed swords in general, yeah.
Yeah, he's yelling, toss out the greatsword, and the little dwarf was like, no, dude, no, not again, not that. You almost hit me last time. Toss it out! Eventually he does, and with surprisingly enough, he tosses it high enough in the air that he's able to keep it in the juggle. Of course, it's the last thing he juggles every time, so...
Yep. Technically, it doesn't have one called greatsword, but there's two-handed sword, there's troll sword, there's...
Yeah, it's basically a two-handed sword that he just calls it. It's sword on this one.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, he's doing that.
And one thing to remember for you, Chris, is that you'll have to raise your rank of speak language before you can do that again.
Yes.
Excellent.
Okay. But yeah,
and I will appropriately clap along with the rest of any crowd that has gathered at his golf clap for his fine performance that he has put on.
Right. As he finishes up, the larger sword just lands blade down into the ground. He catches all the others, does a bow, and up comes a little windling. Windling. There we go. Which,
very little.
Basically, a small elf with insect wings. For those that don't know,
pixie.
Exactly. It comes up and starts
about the size of one too,
shouting into a rudimentary speaker, which is just like a tube to sit there and ask if anyone would like to perform. This is free to do, and you may drum up anything you want. So please come up.
Got some violent bait right there.
I take it we're not in a hurry then, my good friend? Well, of course, we're still waiting. We're still waiting on Kaja, so I guess we have time.
Oh, and just for audience reference as well, windlings are usually between 1 and 2 feet tall.
Yeah.
So they're bigger than pixies, but they're the same idea.
Yeah.
Still way smaller than humans.
From about the time it ends, you still don't see Kazuya around. So
by the time the performance ends.
Yeah, by the time the orc performance ends.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no. Well, then in that case, then Wyland will he'll kind of step forward and he'll try and do a little flourish with his quarterstaff and plop it down and say, "Yes, I would very much like to share a tale or two, or perhaps a lovely poem or an epic story. We are new to the town of Haven here, and I'm more than happy to tell you good folks about the places where I have come from, share some lovely stories with you." I'll kind of swirl around and plant my quarterstaff again and say, "So, are you ready for a tale?"
You see a couple people, woo!
Yes, yes. This is not no ordinary tale. This tale is one of great excitement, great adventure, and of course, no tale would be complete without a great love. So, please permit me. I can see that you all are busy people, but I will keep this relatively short. Although elves are known to live quite long, I could go on and on for quite some time, but I won't do that to you today. So please, here we go. And then I will commence. I have the poetry skill, so I'm figuring he's going to try and do something some sort of story that he's learned while living in our care, and it has been kind of turned into like an epic poem form. And it's kind of like a combination of that with little like flute accents, and he'll play on his flute in between certain verses and lines as he goes through.
You're going to become Shakespeare in this world, aren't you?
I'm going to do whatever I can. I am working on a play. I've got a great screenplay. I need to. If I find an agent, I tell you.
So as soon as he gets to the part of the introduction where he's talking about, I could go on and on, else we live a long time, but I won't. Grigory's already rolling his eyes and goes off to find where Kaja went.
Okay.
Elf will be here for a while. We can find him again later.
All right. So, would you figure where Kazuya went, or would Grigory not?
Well, I know he wanted to do something with the big stick. I'll follow the goo trail of drippings.
You actually see several different goo trails, drippings.
Well, the ones that are the color I'm used to.
All right. So.
And if that fails, then I'll just look for a blacksmith or leather worker or something.
Since you're in a larger town and you start going around a little bit, you run into a few that you swear are Kazuya, but they're not.
Wow, racist.
They look similar. They look a little similar from behind and in the similar armor.
You all have tail. It's the same thing.
Wow.
We didn't have a lot of Scrang in our care, so I can't tell the difference.
Okay. But you do find him. You see him sans armor.
Actually, is it him or her, by the way?
Him.
Okay. Just wasn't sure by the name. Could have gone either way.
Yeah. But you see Kazuya's sans armor. You can still hear Winland just going off in the back and an occasional...
Add a little spice to the story, yeah.
Yep.
Our elf friend be busy for a little while. I thought maybe it's good time to upgrade weapons and make for better fightings.
That's what I was thinking. I already got rid of the leg. That'll take 2 days.
We should be able to afford something better than knife and stick now, yes?
Hopefully, elf boy over there will make us some money off his whatever that is.
So as an out-of-character commentary on that, I double-checked. It's 25 silver for a broadsword, which is damage step 5. It's the best damage we can get out of a one-handed weapon at our capability of wielding.
Okay.
Troll's not sitting in one hand bigger weapons than we can.
Sorry, Dakota. What'd you say?
Does a troll sword require more?
Yeah.
I see that. Oh, okay.
A troll sword is essentially proportionally what a broadsword is like, but to a troll.
I can carry a troll sword.
You have a 13
you
strength?
can,
Yeah.
You can use one two-handed.
No, I have 13. Oh, is that two-handed?
You need to look at the size chart.
Size 4.
For your race. Yeah, we're humans, Scrang, and elves are limited to size 3 to one-handed weapon.
Okay.
You've got the strength to wield it, but you'll have to use 2 hands to do it, which is perfectly fine if that's, if you're not planning on using a shield or something.
I don't have one, so fuck it. I'll do that.
Shields are nice because they give you more armor, but they also give you initiative penalties. So, or you can just get that bigger sword. Whatever you like.
Bigger sword sounds good to me.
The size chart should also tell you what your limit for two-handing a weapon is as well.
Where is that?
It's just at the beginning of the equipment section.
Oh.
I'll get you an exact page number because I've got it open here anyway.
Dakota,
I have it on the
248 for Scrang. Look, you can go all the way up to size 6, so you can get any weapon you want as long as you're two-handing it, as long as it's bigger than a broadsword.
Yeah, I want that.
And same for the elf. I don't know what his plans are like.
Dakota, I have to say this. I love the way your character's developing now. Just piecemeal armor, giant bastard sword. This is my first D&D character in Earthdawn again, apparently.
He's
just a lizard. He's
almost like a barbarian, except that he's studies the art of fencing.
Yeah.
So he's like
he's a barbarian with style.
Yeah, he's like a barbarian who hung out with the Four Musketeers. Or Three Musketeers, sorry.
I'm sadly halfway tempted to start adding magical items from my first game ever, so your character can be more like mine, and the others can be like the ones I know from that game.
Listen, after the giant spider almost killed him, he's just ready to kill whatever.
Right.
Doesn't care.
Yep. His fighting style is like the Three Musketeers, but he's in piecemeal armor and just growling with rage while he's doing it.
All right, well, if you have 50 gold, you can buy it.
I have the 50 silver, yes.
Or 50 silver, yes.
Oh, slight correction. There is a such thing as a size 7 weapon. You cannot ever use those, not even two-handed. But there's only one in the game. And it's something called a raid spear, which is probably like a harpoon-sized spear or something.
Yeah.
Well,
Sorry, I'm more like ballista bolt in your hand kind of thing. That's probably a troll weapon.
All right, well, for all this, you basically go back to the blacksmith and they point you to where the people selling the weapons are, the armor shop next door.
all right.
At which point you see a Obsidian in there, he kind of manning everything and trying to help people fit their items. In fact, you see a little old lady in there buying some small daggers for herself. She talks about how dangerous it is at times, at night whenever she has to go deliver some stuff, so...
Can never be too careful.
Exactly.
Yes. I need to go and talk to the big guy because he'll point me at what I want.
He walks up to you with a lumbering walk. Yes.
I need the biggest sword you have that I can probably actually carry. I assume you're asked this a lot, so you probably know what I mean.
He looks at you up and down. Your people like this one. Pulls out the broadsword.
No.
You can see the troll sword on the wall.
Oh, no. I want that one. And I just point to the thing.
He looks back at
It's
it.
the
He turns
biggest.
slowly to look at it, turns back to you. Sure.
Yes.
He pulls it down, looks at it, compared to you. It's bigger than you.
Hey, it's only a 13 strength minimum required. That's not too shabby.
So was the thing I killed yesterday was 2 times my size as well, but that
That didn't help it much.
didn't help it much. So whatever kills it, kills it.
He shrugs. Not me to judge. He hands it to you, at which point the heft of it throws you off a little bit because you're still used to your sword.
You said it's an Obsidian Man?
Yeah,
He probably hands it to you casually like he's handling a knife.
exactly.
With like 3 fingers. Just, here you go.
So, whenever you start wielding or like moving it around, there's enough space in the store for you to kind of swing it around, and Grigori can see this too. You have a little difficulty at first because the weight is so off.
Yeah,
But after a bit, you're able to kind of figure out how to swing it around with ease.
Yes.
Swords are his thing.
Yep.
Can you say?
All right. And he looks over to Grigori. You.
Hey, shrug. I'm good. Grigori is good.
Pulls out a knife. Knife.
We will bring you our elf friend later. No, I've already got a knife sheathed at my hip.
What do you take for
use
this?
more.
What do you give me for this thing? And I just hold up my old sword.
Actually,
What was your old sword?
Just a
remind
short
me of
sword.
something.
Short sword. 8 silver.
Sounds good.
So yeah, you just end up paying 42 silver for the troll sword now. Unless you want to try and haggle and use your charisma against him.
Actually, you know what? I will go ahead and buy 5 daggers and hopefully like a chest bandolier. 'Cause I want to have like a bandolier of like 5 throwing knives, basically.
Okay.
Just a standard dagger is pretty cheap.
I have craft weapon. Can I charisma and that to like add it together? Be like, this thing's.
Okay. Do a craft weapon as a way to analyze the sword to see how figure stuff out.
It's only a 1 skill rank, so that's just 1 dice, isn't it?
Yes, I believe. Okay, so a 2.
Oh, Jesus.
So you sit there and you start pointing out little bits of issues here and there, like well, if you look, the patterning isn't the greatest here and stuff as that. He looks good quality.
I'm not talking much. It's maybe 5 silver off.
Best can do is get 2 silver off.
How about 3?
1 silver off.
Okay, Alex. Alex.
You walk out of the shop after having spent 50% more than the actual cost.
I'll accept that.
Okay, so you pay 41 instead of 42. And when Grigori requests for the bandolier an extra, troubadour special number 2. And there's
I couldn't find an actual price for a bandolier, but I'm just sort of treating it like a belt pouch kind of thing for silver.
So you said 5. Yeah, it's going to be how much a silver.
So I'm calling it 5 silver total.
Yeah,
4 silver for the daggers, and then 1 silver for the bandolier. Essentially,
it looks like a belt that he just stabbed the knives through. And it works. Because
it ties in visually with the fact that I'm wearing hide armor, so that's okay.
Yeah. So he's just like 5 silver and hands it to you, so you hand over the silver.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else? He starts pointing to like armors or anything like that.
I am good now, but we have Elf who will need your help in a few hours. We bring him here.
Okay. And he just lumbers off to the back. Okay. So, Chris.
Yes.
You said you're poetry, right? You're doing poetry?
I do have poetry, yes, indeed.
Okay, could you roll that for me, please?
I certainly can. It's at this step 8. Ba-ba-da-bum.
Let's see whether or not you've angered the mob.
Hey.
No, I was going to say a 10 was going to be his necessary one, but damn. Okay.
Nice. I'll take it.
Yeah.
And that's a demanding mob, but he pulled it off.
Well, they just finished seeing an orc do,
that's right.
juggling, so...
It's just the big-ish city, They're not easy to please around here.
Exactly.
That's right. Tough crowd. Yeah.
You see, from that score, you see a bunch of people starting tearing up at the love story you're talking about, people applauding. And in fact, some people start throwing a couple of silver coins up to you.
Oh, excellent. I will, as I circle and then relating parts of the story as the coins come in, I'll make sure to walk by and I'll kind of like sweep them in with my feet, so nobody gets adventurous to try and break the circle to take now what is my money.
But without making it look like that's what you're doing, sneaky.
Exactly.
Subtle. Very subtle.
Roll 2d10 for the coinage.
All right. I actually have to use the dang commands here. Let's see.
Yep.
So
That's /R.
2.
Yep.
I
Okay,
know
you go.
that one of these step numbers is 2d10. I just don't remember which one it is.
Either.
Start pressing them until it works.
Well,
You
you get about
good.
10 silver, so not the greatest, but it's free money.
It is. It's more money than I just had. So yeah, cool. So I will get done, and on the assumption that they are clapping, I will bow, and I will thank them very much for that, and I'll kind of end my routine with a kind of a double tap of my quarterstaff, and then pick up my coin and melt back into the crowd.
Actually, right before you do that, the pixie comes up and starts asking, "What is your name, sir, so we can keep an eye on you for the future?"
Windling.
Yes.
It's Windling.
Pleasure to meet
Windling.
you, my Windling friend. My name is Wyland the Wanderer. I'm as I was not lying when I said that me and my companions are newly arrived here in Haven. So I'm happy to have already found this lovely square in which to perform. So I appreciate the fact that you invited me. And what is your name? Do I need to talk a little bit more to give the game master a moment to come up with the name? I can easily do that. As a troubadour, often I find that sometimes being able to drag out the conversation for as long as necessary is a helpful.
Okay, I got a name now.
Well played.
It says, my name is Red, the speaker. Thank you very much for asking me. Most people don't.
Oh, well, that's a shame, right? You seem to be a very charming individual. So,
Actually,
tell me,
go ahead.
I have a question. I have two companions with me, and as I said, we are new here to Haven. We'll definitely be looking for two things. One, a good place to stay and rest our heads and kick the dust off of our boots, and also we're here about an adventurers guild. We were told as from a passerby when we exited our care about coming to Haven for such a thing. Could you point me in the proper direction for one or both?
Oh, he sits there and looks and goes, For a good inn, you may want to look at the Grey Basilisk.
Mm-hmm.
They have some stellar wines and a pretty good beef stew. As for the Adventurers Guild, you may want to talk to that gentleman over there. And points to an elf that looks quite familiar.
And he's standing right behind you.
Was it the one that we ran into when we first
Yes.
exited?
Pointing to
Excellent.
Devin.
I shall do that. And you, Devin, there he is right there. And you said the Grey Basilisk. You said.
Yes.
Where might I find that?
And gives you basic directions about take a left here, go that way, up 3 blocks. If you get to the smoldering wreckage, you've gone too far.
He points to his left, and you see it 10 feet away.
Yes, when you reach the smoldering wreckage, that is usually true of most things that you have gone too far.
Now you're way too
somebody
close to the
else did
Mages
anyway.
Academy at that point.
Oh,
Anyways.
that used to be the Elementalist Guild.
Actually, that makes a better joke, doesn't it?
Yeah.
God, I'm still learning the classes, okay? I'm learning about your guys' class.
Until the newbies arrived and fucked everything up.
Okay.
Well,
So-
Red, it was a pleasure to make your acquaintance, good sir. And I will shake his tiny little hand.
Well, it shouldn't be that tiny, but maybe like his hand to your one finger.
I'll extend 2 fingers so that he made the little windling handshake. So he can.
Yeah.
I'll let him Deadpool my fingers with his little hand.
Kind of like a toddler size. Yeah.
And then he goes back to shouting through it, asking
Or maybe a
for things
5-year-old.
much louder than you would ever expect someone his size to be able to yell.
Must be a magic that he's utilizing there. Interesting.
That guy's entire body must be 80% lungs.
But yes, so
Cool.
You're probably right, though. It's probably air magic.
you see
I'm gonna,
Devin. Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say you see Devin, and I was gonna say from the amount of time you took, it was a long story, wasn't it?
I was probably at least about. I promised them about 7 minutes. I probably went about 15.
Okay. Well, this time as you're getting down, you can kind of see your friends in the distance, like from the crowd walking back, and you notice the large-ass sword on Kazia. So you start
That
wondering,
seems
are
bigger
these
than
my
what I remember it
friends?
to be.
But yes,
Uh,
they still have a little bit of ways to go, but there's Devin standing near the steps down.
I'm going to look at Devin until he makes eye contact with me. I'll give him a slight nod, kind of hold up my finger, and then I'll point towards my companions and start off towards them.
All right. He takes your cue and starts walking with you. So you made it to Haven.
Oh yes, we did actually. We had we made a small stop along the way and ran into a wee bit of trouble, but nothing that we couldn't handle. Our brave adventurers 3, we saved a little village. So
By dropping a tree on a giant monster.
I'm sorry, what?
Whatever gets the job done.
Yes.
He sits there and tells you, yes, I talked to the orc, and then I went to investigate and saw the giant burnt-out cave and the large tree that fell.
Oh, well, you know, the thing is you make use of what you have available to you. And I have to give my friend Kaja credit. That was, though the swings that he may have been lacking at time with the sword, he certainly made up for it with the swing with which he hit that tree. So it accomplished the task. And he got a lovely little souvenir out of it, which I'm sure he will be happy to show you, and you might be properly disgusted by it. But we shall see.
Actually, as he's saying this, like, I'm not judging you. My cohort Randy did something as equally to defeat a monster before. You know how hard it is to start an avalanche?
It all depends where you're at, but yes, I would imagine it must be difficult and not something to start inside a care. That's for sure.
You could probably ask somebody over at the Elementalist Guild about that if it hadn't burned down.
Yes. So
Yes. Don't go near the burning wreckage.
by the time you guys finish this little conversation, you meet up with Kazia and Grigori again.
Kaja, what with this weapon you have upon your back? Clearly, a Tiskrang with the tail as long as yours. You have no need to compensate for anything, my friend.
With as many words as you know, I'm surprised you're able to talk.
Ooh, you may have me contemplating on that one for some time. Well played, and I'll tap him on the shoulder. I found our elven friend who basically got us to come here. Yes, Devin. Of course, you remember my companions.
Yes, the overly armored one and the lizard.
Overly? Oh, I cannot afford to be overly armored, so I have to do with this one.
And you have an upgrade to the weapon there.
Oh, yes. Sold the old thing, got this, and took my prize somewhere.
Yes, he no longer fight armored spider with knife. Good for him.
Yes. And good on you both, on all of you, for burning out the cave. There was very well thought out to, I'm assuming, just make sure nothing could happen to res them or life could restart.
Yes, Grigori knows these threats exist.
Those things had eggs. I wasn't going to let them live.
That too.
Yes, they were quite complete in their destruction.
Yes. And good ingenuity. I will give you that. You will, as my friend Randy probably told you, there is the Adventurers Guild in this town. You would make fine tributes to it if you were willing to join.
Well, it's certainly something we're willing to look at.
Sounds like it is adventure to have.
All right. Well, I must be going then. You have your fun around here. I'm sure you've spent all your lives inside of that small town. Nowhere to go.
Yes, I'm enjoying the open sky. Let me tell you this.
And he tells you, from standing here, this is how you get to the Adventurers Guild. And be sure to knock 4 times.
4 times... How many?
5 is right out, though.
Well, 4 times. Do you mean we do 4 knocks, or we knock and then wait and then knock again 3 more times after that?
He just stares at you, then starts walking away.
Apparently, not all elves are as humorous as, or find things as funny as I do. Apparently, well, I think we should do the former. I think we should knock, wait a little bit, knock, wait a little bit, knock, and then wait a little bit,
Milo,
knock one last time.
Speaking of finding things funny, let us go get you something you can fight with that is more than stick. Yes.
Wow, I like fighting with my stick. Well, I don't like fighting in general, but I when I have to fight, I'm happy to hit.
I'm sure a huge spider found it ticklish, but
well,
look, our other friend has good idea here. Look at this thing.
Yes, it is large.
Perhaps we find you something in between the two things.
We can take a look. Yes, yes.
I think we can afford now.
Okay. I'm guessing you guys go back to the shop.
Go back to
I'll bring up to the blacksmith with the Obsidian shop.
Okay.
Where they sell only the finest Obsidian.
As you walk back in, you notice.
And then, well, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No. I was just going to make a lame joke. I'll save it for later.
Okay. As you walk back in, you see him talking to a armored man in there. At which point, he turns around, looks at you, and goes, "Ah, the adventurers from the new town," and goes in and gives you basically a group hug.
I step back.
I'll hug him.
I don't fight it, but I accept it.
You recognize him as Dakota. Kazia recognized him as the guy that told him about the Adventurers Guild.
Oh, yeah.
Ah, you have an upgrade. Good thinking. Bigger is better, yes?
Of course.
At which point he sits there and is like talking about the new axe he bought. Very large, very nasty looking axe.
Want to hold on to the thing.
You want to wait? You want to try and hold the weapon there?
Yes.
I give that a try. Yeah.
Let me give it a swing.
Sure thing. What is your strength rating?
13. Yes, 13.
Oh, you're right at the minimum for the sword you bought then.
So
Yeah.
he holds it out for you. As you grab it, it falls basically to the ground. Requires a 17 strength to wield around.
Is it a troll battle axe?
Yes, it is.
I just
rough.
I just want to stare at the thing for a minute and just
Wow.
someday, and I just let go.
So
Yes,
what's Wyland's strength like, by the way?
His actual strength score,
Yeah.
I'd say 12.
Okay. Yeah, you'll probably have to go with something one-handed then.
Yeah, I'm actually when does the Obsidian come and look at me?
Once he's done dealing with Randy and everything, who's now off talking to Kazi, yes, he looks at you. You.
Yes, my friend here is forcing me to get another kind of weapon. So I'm looking for something that is it's got an edge to it. I'm kind of like looking behind him as I'm talking, and I'm gonna eye Kaja's old short sword, and I'll say, like that. I want. In fact, actually, that one right there looks perfect.
Is that my old sword?
Yeah.
This is this is the part that's ironic because it's actually the exact same damage rating as what you've already got in your stick.
Oh, is it damage? Is it, short sword is what, 4?
Yes.
Yeah, as far as the quarterstaff.
Oh yeah, right.
He looks at it,
Yeah,
looks at your
that
stick.
looks perfect.
Not much better.
Oh, I don't know. This is kind of cool. I'll kind of like clumsily, even though I have melee weapons as a skill, I'll kind of like swing it around in probably a relatively unsafe manner.
You could go with a tri-spear. That's
damn
slightly
you!
better
You were
than your
gonna
quarterstaff.
take. You took
but
my thunder.
Wheels similarly. Huh?
Oh, is that what you're going to have
Yeah, I
me
was
do?
gonna sit there. He was gonna hand this like what you wield, and it's a tri-spear.
There you go.
It seems a bit much for me. Maybe do you have one with maybe 2 less pokers on there?
Well, he goes through and starts looking around, trying to figure just you feel him looking a little harder on you, just trying to figure you out.
It is difficult, isn't it?
And he's like, pulls out a spear, similar but pointy to what you have. Puts that there. Pulls out a small hand axe. One troubadour made into guitar before. Slams that into the counter there. And
Well,
he
maybe.
basically pulls out small weapons. A lot.
Yeah. Well, what about what about that one? That rather that long spear back there. That looks like it might be kind of fun.
Unfortunately, you're not strong enough to wield that one.
So that should be amusing trying to wield that. All right. Well,
So you could role play a little moment of being really awkward with it.
Funk.
He
Okay.
hands you it if you want to check it out.
Oh yeah, I'll totally check it out and then realize that I'll try and like do a swing kind of like around, and then as the momentum it gets behind me, I'll stumble backwards and the spear like sticks into the dirt.
Yeah, I was gonna say spear sticks in this dirt. You're at a nice 45-degree angle, holding it.
Actually, how about a flail, maybe?
Is Grigori suggesting this?
I feel that if I was to have this while I'm dancing about, I might end up hitting more vital parts of myself than my enemies.
Elf is dexterous plenty. You be fine. If you not want blade weapon, perhaps something more smacky like stick, but heftier, like flail.
No, I'm into the blade. I suppose if it will make you happy, my friend, let us try one of the larger blades there.
It's not need be blade, just something that does better than stick in combat.
Let's take a look at that. He'll take a look at a regular broadsword.
Oh, he hands you the broadsword, which is right at your you can wield it.
Mhm.
So you're there doing that.
Yeah. Statistically, the broadsword and flail are both the same damage, which is one step higher than your quarterstaff, and they're both one-handed, so you could potentially do a shield at the same time if you wanted to.
There's a certain set of style to this. Ooh, and I like now these the slight engravings here that you have at the guard. You made this, Mr. Obsidian. What is your name? I did not even get your name, good sir.
Rocky.
Excellent. and strangely appropriate.
DM is resisting your efforts to mock him.
I'm gonna have to open a goddamn name generator on the stuff suit.
Just get a list of names for every race, so that whenever you're asked for one, you can just pull one out of the list.
I'm sure that your wife Adrian is quite lovely.
Anyways, he sits there and shake whenever you start.
Adrian.